Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali. First, let me start out by saying thank you to all of you beautiful family who support me in my dedication to sharing the horror of man-made radiation. When I'm through with this shit, you're going to be able to put this information out there because they know. That's why they're having Rachel Levine, the Surgeon General, get up there and say that the U.S. government is going to bribe. They don't put it in those terms, but that's what it is. They're going to bribe black community leaders to share the script about climate change and probably about the Jabberoonie do. And they're going to give them money to do that, kickbacks, because suddenly, folks who never mention the environment, they're noticing that black you and me are starting to talk about what's really going on. And I know that's Fukushima. I know that has been because of my tireless work, which will never stop. Right? So let me get right to it. Oh, but go and help even more. All right? Thank you. I love you. Now, you probably hear Dr. She in the background, but we have a lot of fun up in this house. So this family, my condolences to this family. They were the ones who died in the clip that I played. I am not here to advocate for the harm of anybody. As I put in the thumbnail, it's not black us doing it to this madness, this horror. I mean, there's no words for it. To these white people, because they're the ones who tend to own these private planes. And it was the father who was the pilot, and his whole family was with him, because white people aren't telling other white people about the Wigner effect, that the skies have become a radioactive deluge that wind up destroying the integrity of whatever travels through it, be it organic or inorganic.
Just about to land in Denver with the wing coming apart.
Dr. She shared this with me, but I had seen this. But where a passenger is just pointing the camera outside the window, showing the cracks on the wing. Good Lord, that's where the fuel is. So this video is for an educational basis to save people's lives. That, by law, allows the creator of the content to share images and selections from sources in order to be of assistance to their fellow citizens. I think that this would be it. Is simply, when it comes to black us, the whole point of man-made radiation is to take us out. But they're going to take out their own and not bat an eyelash. And I don't gloat, because as I said, this is happening to black us. This is in Burkina Faso. This was just a couple days ago, March 7th. 5 killed. There were 5 killed. That whole family, 5 people. And then 5 here killed in Burkina plane crash. This happens all the time now. It's so much so that they've had to come up with these, this is the 737s. That's what it is. That's what it is. That was a private plane. That was not a 737. What was this? This is, they usually will tell you what the plane is. A PA-32. That definitely ain't no 737. And sabotage, shoddy maintenance. That's what it's like when it comes to all the creatures that have died. And I'm going to go over them briefly too. The scientists will say, it's a mystery. Oh, they didn't line up for the Jabberoonie Dooney, okay? Question swirl is aviation incident spike this week. Oh, don't let me bring out all my records. And see, that's why they hide my content, because as long as I don't verify that I know exactly what I'm talking about, then they let me kind of float and hoped that I would be as shallow as their operatives are. And so that they could send one agent after me after. Now, I've had conversations with their agents who've said to me, just put little stuff in front of me to try to bring me over to the dark side. Where they're like, oh, you're too idealist. You need to be more pragmatic. Oh, no, you could have a conversation with Cynthia G. Of course, I said she'd have to apologize, but that wasn't the point. The point was to get me to grovel, because they hoped that fame and fortune and notoriety is my motivation. No, life is, and more abundantly. And it'll never be more abundant with these people in charge. 3 confirmed dead in National Guard helicopter crash near southern border in Texas. Chopper was on federal orders carrying 3 soldiers and 1 border patrol agent. And this is also a brand spanking new one, March 8th. I know the National Guard, they shut it all down. They said, oh, no, too many crashes. But that was just based on 2 crashes. This is a 3rd one. Plane was nosediving. United Airlines Boeing 737 engine erupts in flames over Texas. Zero Hedge is going to tell the script as much as possible while trying to pretend that they're for the common white person. Oh, hell no, they're not. Boeing's year from hell after 6 travel disasters involving 737 MAX and other jets. We're not going to say which ones. I'm going to show you another one at the end of this. Following 2 deadly crashes, will Americans continue to fly on beleaguered planes? And then there it is, 737. No, there's been all of them, especially the private planes, because they have the lowest level of regulation. You are not going to get private owners to do all the things that are vital if you want to have a chance of flying the skies safely. They're going to get in their old Cessnas or Piper Jets or whatever the heck, take on off, and you can't have a single bolt loose. And the bolt can be tightened and fastened up as much as you think it is, but there'll be little, they call them interstitial vacancies, little cracks that the radiation inevitably causes. It's hot on an atomic basis. How is something that is super hot, putting out gamma wave radiation, not going to affect the superstructure of anything that it encounters? It affects the frontal lobe, so that all the airline passengers, not all of them, but then the ones who are more prone, might also depend on which seat they're in as you're flying on the plane, are losing their daggone minds. The planes are losing their structural integrity. And in the meantime, because they want to keep their nuclear industry going so they can fuel their weapons and their HARP weather systems, they're trying to make it seem, as they always have, as if radiation gives you superpowers. Worms living near Chernobyl have developed new superpower, scientists discovered. They're talking to us like we're 10-year-olds. And I thank you, beloved sister Yisrael, for sharing this story with me. I had seen it, but as I say, my book, writing my book and doing what needs to be done, that's the vital project for me to do right now. All the distractions and the rest of it, I'm just stepping back and doing what I gotta do, like all of us should be, okay? And so they want to make it seem like, oh, this is a great thing, but they don't talk about all the creatures that have disappeared and been decimated, extinct because of the radiation. Mysterious disease kills 800,000 salmon babies. They were baby fish. They do this in order to repopulate the aqua system because they got all the fishermen going there, and they'll notice. And they'll start complaining. There's a movement on the West Coast called Great Salmon Famine, and that's being quiet as kept. And just, they're making it almost a joke even, where they have these bands covering this actual disaster where they had to give money, funding to these sailing commercial ventures because they weren't getting any fish anymore. But they have a band, Great Salmon Famine, and they'll also have these artists painting murals. That's what they did to black us in order to have a non-economic Harlem Renaissance. That was it Rosenwald or one of those, one of them dudes, okay? Funded, but it was meant to just give us a feeling of victory by having all these poets and artists at these soiree parties that meant not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. That's what they're doing to the white fishermen out there too. And so they're not talking about no black person but me. And Brother Black up in ya, or Mad Black is the name of his channel now. He mentioned the 9 billion, they call them missing crabs, up in the West Coast. And nobody else has talked about how the hell are we not going to talk about 9 billion missing crabs? That's because we've been brainwashed by Julius Rosenwald. That was his name, right? We've been brainwashed epigenetically, generation by generation, and so that we pay attention to what they tell us is important to pay attention to. That's what Raymond Levine is going to be offering cash to all these black community leaders that they pick. They pick. I know, I've seen the game go on right here in Newark, where I was at an event and I saw what was going on with that. No, it's not the Wi-Fi. Okay? I'm just saying. I had one person who said hi, and whoa, that's a famous person right there. But they weren't going to acknowledge me completely because they can't, right? They're bought and paid for. And so anyway, mysterious disease kills these salmon babies. That means why you got to put salmon babies out there when they were already reported record runs just a couple years ago. They were like, oh, the salmon, they're amazing. We're going to just have so many of them. And then, boom, it dropped right off the cliff. Okay? And now they got to see it with salmon babies, and even the salmon babies can't survive. That's because the water on the West Coast is so deadly. It's killing the people. Forget about the baby salmon. It's killing the people. California closes miracle hot spring tourist spot, beloved by hippies for its healing minerals. That means they've been going there for a long time because they've been hippies for a long time. And white people always love this sort of stuff, okay? And for its healing minerals, after body is found floating in water. That's the second body, right? In the past, the other body was found on October 17, 2022. Ta-da! Fukushima. Okay? And what? They didn't get superhero power? They didn't get superhero power. How's that possible? Oh my goodness, and I almost forgot. I had reported on this. I don't know how long ago it was, but mystery outbreak in California sees hundreds of people break out in rashes and suffering vomiting after competing in Tough Mudder event. It was a race through the mud. Did they become superheroes? I don't think so. Look at this. The birth defect rate rises 17% in Pacific states after Fukushima. Changes in congenital anomaly incidents in West Coast and Pacific states of the USA after arrival of Fukushima fallout. This was put together by Joseph Mangano and Jeanette Sherman. But, Joseph Mangano, he is on point with his research. White dude, I don't hate you just because of your skin. I just know they use us to misdirect. It's easy to misdirect white people. That's just a given. But I'm just saying, it's harder if you don't have a whipping boy. And that's what they use us for. They use us as a prisoner of war nation to infest the world with whatever agenda the satanic elite want the world to believe. But getting back to Joseph, I just want you to know the level of research. This is a scientific research website, an academic publisher, and they publish the reports from scientific journals all over the world elevated airborne beta levels in Pacific West Coast U.S. states and trends in hypothyroidism among newborns after the Fukushima nuclear fallout. And then there's also rising thyroid cancer incidents proximate to a New York City area nuclear power plant. This ain't news to them. And neither is what caused that plane crash for this family. My condolences. I do not gloat over murder. I can feel for anybody. I just know if you think France and Germany are two separate damn countries, then we have less in common with each other, dear white people, than France and Germany have. There's no way you are going to be able to stop any of this to your own and all the deaths. Oh my goodness, the cancers you guys have suffered from and all the other maladies. You really felt pain. You're not all psychopaths like you want to think that black us are psychopaths for just wanting to be free. We got drapetomania. You got white supremacy insanity in your heads, where you just cannot see life as worth living unless you are in charge. And this is the cost. This is the cost. Now, Boeing is now under criminal investigation over plane blowout at 16,000 feet that caused dramatic landing and sparked massive probe into airline safety. If they keep just blaming Boeing, then this ain't for real. None of this is for real, but this deserves a criminal investigation and nothing else that I've reported does. You dudes are desperately out of your daggone minds talking about psychopaths. And here we go. Brand new. This is just today, March 10th, 2024. Good Lord, 5 more people, including a child. They say that like they really give a damn, and no, they don't, because if they did, they would tell folks about the Wigner effect. I wouldn't be some tiny, teeny little channel off in the, Siberian Andes or whatever the heck it is, trying to scream there's a genocide going on right now. All the pontificating they're putting out there is just to distract from the fact that these dudes want to kill a black us. And anybody who gets in the way, they don't give a damn. Otherwise, there'd be a CMOS campaign ad nauseum in the white communities. There is none. They tried to say, oh, well, you should eat seaweed, but that was just 2 times and they stopped. Because they were just trying to make it seem like, no, we've recommended seaweed to the white people too. Not like the CMOS. Not like that. Right? And so 5 people, including a child, are killed in Virginia plane crash after jet fell short of runway and plowed through trees. Let's see what kind of jet it was. Oh, wow, look at that. I must not know how to spell. This seems to say Westwind Astra. Doesn't say Boeing 737. That's it. That's all I can say. Go on over to 25,000 Year Cycle and support the one platform that's telling you the daggone facts. Because truth is a weapon non-par that means nothing but life, everlasting, and most abundantly for everyone. Straight black pride, and we own forever. Love you. Peace and blessings.